Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. Now, I was actually working on another totally different video today, and then comes this flurry of news announcements and images that confirm that Mattel is now going deep into their crossover with the 80s MOTU knockoff series, Rulers of the Sun, and in fact merging them further with their own current MOTU Origins line. Now, this naturally being some pretty heavy-duty news announcements, I figured that you guys out there would want to hear me talk about it ASAP on the channel. So I dropped everything else and prepped together this video. So let's get into the discussion, shall we? Now, Rulers of the Sun is a toy line made from the 80s that many of us here in Malaysia only just recently found out about. And probably some of you guys outside of the United States as well, I can only imagine. Okay, this was a line of toys created in the 80s that were very similar in theme and definitely in action figure format, very similar to that of Masters of the Universe, and it was created as a more diverse offering to that of He-Man's mostly all white barbarian men and women. Now, of course, I do also have to mention that Masters of the Universe was not only made up of an all-white barbarian cast, they also had stuff like half men, half robots, lobsters, lizards, furry creatures, fish people, an elephant man, a blue tornado guy, two evil Asian warriors, including one ninja, and let's not forget the one black champion who was the king's main bodyguard. And that's just a half summary of the cast. I'm sure there's more I haven't covered. There's also the guy that was the spinning top, okay, like it was half kind of like human, and the bottom half of him was like a spinning top, all right? Twistoid, I think. But the main star of Masters of the Universe, the main hero, the main lead, was a white barbarian, He-Man. So Rulers of the Sun was going to introduce a black warrior instead as the main lead. The entire toy line consisted of something like 10 figures. And from what you can see in this image here, there's actually 5 all new, all different looking black warriors. And except for Pighead, it's interesting to note that all of the characters are in fact human, right? They're very human. So there's no animal hybrids of any kind like with Masters of the Universe. Now, there's a very clear image here of Sunman's main nemesis, Pighead, who on first glance looks like he could be a bad guy from Angry Birds, but one who's now instead armed for intense combat. Okay, the face sculpt on this guy is just screaming of an evil pig monster bad guy. With that angry and threatening stare and those huge pig nostrils to breathe down on the enemy. And he's also got some pretty deadly looking weapons like a curved mace and a colorful shield. Now, I would say that you can immediately recognize the main body of the figure as being a standard issue Masters of the Universe Origins action figure body. Everything from his arm bracelets to the abs on his chest, to the shape and tone of his arm and thigh muscles, and right down to his furry boots. I will say that the figure is very colorful, and it's keeping in tone with the promise of Masters of the Universe toys to be colorful and vibrant. I can definitely see how this figure will be appealing to some of you. I'm not sure how I feel about it exactly just yet. Maybe I need to dwell on the design for a little bit more. But in the meantime, let me know what you guys think about him in the comments. I do think it's notable though that since the Pighead character was created all the way back in the 1980s, he is in fact, to the best of my knowledge, one of the earliest sort of designs of a pig-headed type monster that was ever created for pop culture. So that in itself kind of does make him stand out a little bit. Now, the other figure that we got a tasty close-up look at was Digitino. Now, when I was doing my first video piece on the Sunman character a few months ago, I went through the original Rulers of the Sun lineup, and when I came across the name of Digitino, it just made me laugh out loud, okay? I mean, thinking of the name just, even now, it just makes me laugh, okay? Because he just sounds so freaking ridiculous. All right, you have to admit it. Okay, the name Digitino sounds ridiculous. If anyone says the character name sounds cool, you have to try and slap some sense into that person. There's something about Digitino that immediately reminded me of Lou Ferrigno. What do you guys think? Does this guy have that Lou Ferrigno vibe to him? Does he remind you of the Incredible Hulk from our childhood? Actually, though, I did wonder if there was an added reference in his name to indicate that he was in fact a Latino. I'm not sure, but with the diverse cast that they were going for, it's definitely possible. Now, based on the role designation for the character, as stated in his original 80s promo ad, Digitino is described as a numerical genius. Now, I will say that his caveman like design is probably the furthest thing that you would equate to that of a mathematical wizard. To be honest, when you first glance at the toy, you probably think that he's a goofy enforcer or a bouncer type of character of some kind. He's got those ripping, exposed muscles, tunic cloth half slung over his body like that, just a cloth. He can't even afford a bright and shiny armored outfit like the one Sunman has. All right, so he's clearly the muscle, right? But as it turns out, he is in fact a brilliant numbers guy. And further proof that you should never judge a book by its cover, or a maths genius by the size of his ripping muscles and tunic cloth. Digitino has what appears to be a small spear-like weapon with a claw-like tip. Literally, this guy is the archetype image of a caveman with a spear. Just that it turns out that he's supposed to know numbers. Maybe he uses that sharp spear-like thing to write the numbers and equations on the cave walls. Uh, anyway, let me know what you guys think of Digitino in the comment section. But I think for me personally, it's a hell no. In the main promotional image that was shared of the characters from Rulers of the Sun, there's also a masked character here that you see in the background standing just behind Sunman. Now this appears to be the Space Sumo. At first I thought that this guy was one of the villains, but then it turns out that he's also one of the good guys, which makes me feel that Pighead is probably a little bit outnumbered. Now my first thought when I saw the Space Sumo's character design with his black and red outfit, somehow I immediately thought of the ninja shadow figure from Kenner's line of the Shadow movie toys from 1994. You guys remember this one, right? Of course, the Shadow toys came much later, but you could probably stand up both these guys side by side. What do you guys think? Now, per his character description from the original 80s promo ad, it states here that the Space Sumo is a telekinetic ninja. Also, he's Asian, okay, but of course he would be. And but seriously, a telekinetic ninja, and he's proficient in sumo as well. Plus, he can travel in space. It's like he's a ninja in sumo wrestler's clothing who can also move things with his mind and has space flight capabilities. That is a lot of character designations, dude. Now, I am a bit surprised that Mattel has been moving so deeply into this new subline of figures when there are so many more legacy characters from the original Masters of the Universe lineup that have yet to turn up in Origins. Okay, they've yet to delve so much more deeper into characters from the Evil Horde, characters from the Snake Man, and also from the Princess of Power, which I'm sure still has a lot of fan favorite characters that fans want to see made. Bo, perhaps, characters like him and stuff like that. But instead, they're going deeper into the Rulers of the Sun. So I would like to know what you guys think of this new announcement of this new subline of figures, and are you guys excited about it? Are you guys excited about these new characters? What do you think of the characters that they've shown us so far, like Pighead, Digitino, and the Space Sumo? What do you guys think of these characters? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch up with you guys again soon with more content. Take care out there.